The days don't get much bigger than they will on Sunday at Sha-Tin. We have $95 million spread across 4 Group 1 races, and 3 of those 4 are the richest Group 1 turf races in the world. That is in their respective divisions, the Cup, the Mile and the Sprint. We have representatives from Japan, from Ireland, from France, taking on Hong Kong's best on Sunday at Sha-Tin. It is the Turf World Championships. It's going to be a really special day, and welcome to a special edition of Hong Kong Direct as well. I'm Andrew Lejeune, pleased to be joined by our special guests in Graham Cunningham and Ed Sadler as well. And Ed, despite all the problems we've obviously had this year, everyone's suffered. We've got an outstanding lineup for our 4 Group 1s.
We do indeed, Andrew, yes. If you can't get excited about this weekend's racing, you never will. There's something on offer in each of the 4 Group 1s. We start, obviously, with the Vase, where Exultant, the reigning horse of the year, will be taking on a younger challenger in Mogul from Ireland. Then in the Sprint, can Classic Legend bring the form that saw him win the Everest in Australia up against Hot King Prawn, who probably deserves a Group 1 win. Golden 60's taken all before him here in Hong Kong. He deserves a Group 1 in recognition of what he's done. And in the Cup, well, with the horses from France, Ireland, Japan and here in Hong Kong with Furore, and that promises to be a super clash, so I can't wait.
No, and we've got, of course, Graham, 2 returning champions from last year as well. Can they step up once more and defend their crowns?
Well, I think Admire Mars is bound to go really well, even allowing for Golden 60 in the mile. But the way I look at this weekend, we're getting towards the business end now, and this shows to highlight the colour and the flavour of the occasion, but it's also hopefully pointing people in the right direction. And it's a case of whether you're going to go for the obvious, a horse who has a peak performance that can win the race, like Classic Legend in the Sprint, or Magical in the Cup, or a horse who might be sitting on a peak performance that's just ready to deliver at the right time. So some short price favourites like Classic Legend, like Magical, like Golden 60. Golden 60 is potentially the story. He is on Hong Kong through and through. He's the ultimate racing bubble horse all the way through from January. And for Vincent Ho, who's only had a handful of Hong Kong international races rides ever, he's got 2 of the most important dates of his life on Sunday, on Classic Legend and then on Golden 60.
Yeah, with every hurdle they put in front of him, though, he jumps it. Golden 60. We'll come back to him and the rest of them in due course. We're going to start off, though, with our first race is the Longines Hong Kong Vase. $20 million on the table here over the 2,400 metres, featuring Exultant, previous winner and reigning horse of the year, Exultant. He'll jump from barrier 5. Shafano for David Hayes from 7. Ho Ho Khan from 2. Columbus County. Joe Moreira for Casper Fowles from barrier 1. Royal Julius, now he's the overseas runner here from barrier 3, along with Playa del Puente and Mogul, Group 1 winner himself. Only a 3-year-old, so he carries 121 pounds. And pleased to say that we're joined by Aidan O'Brien a couple of times throughout today's programme. First up, though, of course, Vase has been a good race for Aidan. He's won it twice with Highland Reel. We caught up with him to get his thoughts heading into the weekend.
It's a great meeting, a great time of the year. It's great to be going there and competing with all their best horses, and I think any of the best horses in the world that are able to travel and are still going at that time want to be there. I think it's great for world ratings and rankings. Horses, you can get a handle on all the form, even though maybe some of the horses mightn't make it that far through the season, but you can still get a guide on what the horses are down there and up here and I suppose all over the world really.
Highland Reel tries to go with him. They beat off Elaine Happy Star. Darian trailing up behind them. Highland Reel in for the fight. He regained the lead from Flincher. Then Darian, but it's Highland Reel. Aidan O'Brien, his first victory in the Hong Kong Vase, and Highland Reel defeats the defending champion.
He was very sound, genuine, clear-winded horse, very easy to train, loved travelling. Loved fast ground, loved to go forward in his races. He was just a very, very good horse.
Talismanic gets on terms with Highland Reel. He won't surrender. Toes and Bannell's run is coming to an end, but Irish eyes are smiling. Highland Reel, what a fitting finale. Highland Reel takes the bars from Talismanic.
We always thought he was a very good horse. He's made like a miler. He's strong, he's powerful. I suppose he's made like a Danehill miler. Obviously he's by Galileo, but he's out of a Danehill mare. So we always thought the world of him. He always went through his work very strong. Like, we went to France and we knew there was going to be real nice ground, which he likes. It was a mile and a half, and we had other horses in the race, and we knew it was going to be a solidly run race. And we said to Pierre, listen, just put him asleep, take your time and produce him late. And it became very apparent, like obviously Pierre gave him a brilliant ride, and it became very apparent very halfway through the race what was going to happen.
Mogul in the blue and orange has taken it up. Gold Trip with a noseband in second position. Serpentine behind those. In Swoop staying on well in the closing stages, but as they race towards the line, Mogul safely clear. Won by at least 2, maybe 3.
He's a horse likes a nice strong run race and take your time on him, and those things don't always happen that way. He went to America and the pace was very slow and messy and it just didn't work then, but he's a very exciting horse, Gary, when you can ride him like that and take your time and you can quicken. We wish we were there. We really look forward to watching it, and listen, very grateful to you for everything you've done for us and do for us, and well done for having such competitive racing on. I think for everybody all over the world, because I think it's races and races like that and meetings like that make all the difference to people, and especially people that can't go racing. Like there's so many people at home that can't go racing and look forward to the racing coming on the telly, and that's what I think makes the big difference. So thanks for everything and happy Christmas to everybody.
Great stuff. Happy Christmas as well to Aidan. He might leave Hong Kong with a rather large Christmas present as well. Graham, he's got Mogul here. We'll hear from him about Magical later on. What of Mogul though? He's promised a lot so far. He has delivered. He's won a Group 1, but there was big raps on this horse at the start of the season. Yeah,
Aidan adores him, and it's clearly that he goes extremely well on the gallops. He's a good horse on lots of pieces of form, Andrew, but he's a very good horse on one piece of form. That was the Grand Prix de Paris. Pierre-Charles Boudot was on board, but it wasn't so much a jockey thing as a pace thing. He got a really, really strong, true pace from the off that day, and he showed what he could do in a strongly run race.
Whereas I don't really see a genuine tempo here, so I don't think that will really favour him. I can't see him getting the race run to suit as he would like.
Okay, Exultant, Graham, is the obvious place to start as far as the local horses are concerned. Our reigning horse of the year, previous winner of this race, but comes off 2 prep runs into this when I wouldn't say he's off the boil. Fiore's beat him fair and square. Is he still at his best, do we think?
I think so, and I hope he is, because he is Hong Kong's horse of the year, and this has been his big day for ages. He was trying to give Furore, I think, £11 first time out in handicap company, and was trying to give him £5 last time, both over shorter distances. I prefer to judge him on his performances in this race 2 years ago when he won in an epic tussle with LHKIR, and last year when he ran very well for a long way to be third from a very wide draw. Look at his form figures in Group 1s in Hong Kong. 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 1. Exultant looks super solid this weekend. Tactically, he looks like the one to make the break from some way out, to try and sustain that high rolling cruising speed from off the bend, and it's a case of whether Mogul can pounce on him late, but Exultant looks the solid one.
He'll fight as well, Ed. He'll be carried out on his shield regardless.
Definitely, he's there to fight. If he's challenged, as we saw when he won the Vase a couple of years ago when LHKIR headed him, he fought back to win. He's such a tough horse. He's an old warrior, and I think tactics-wise too, he can lead. If there's not a lot of pace on, he can make the pace himself. He can make that mid-race move, or he can sit back and grind away to win. So I think he ticks all the boxes here.
Okay, well, a new horse, relatively new horse on the scene is Columbus County. He finished third in the Jockey Club Cup when Exultant was second. He's trained by Casper Founds and he'll be ridden by Joe Moreira.
His last run in particular, when he ran against some of the best horses in Hong Kong, he indicates that he's up to the class, and he might be causing a great upset based on his form at the moment. He only had 2 runs for the season. He can only go better having his 3rd run. As you said, I would say it is a big plus because how he hit the line last time was very impressive. As more ground he's going to step to, better it's going to be for him, I believe.
What are your thoughts then, Ed, on Columbus County and the other runners as well? Royal Julius, of course, we've got coming in from France.
Yes, I'll stick with Columbus County here. I think he's a bit of the X-factor horse in the race. He's would at Happy Valley first up, was super, and then I thought he ran a really good race last time out. Against Exultant Furore, I was pleased with the way that he was running on. He looked suited by the step up to 2,400 metres. He's been really consistent here in Hong Kong, and I think he's gone to a new level in his 2nd season here.
All right, well, we'll hold off on the tips just for now. We'll do a recap at the end of the show. That's the Longines Hong Kong Vase. Next up for us is the Longines Hong Kong Sprints. And Classic Legends, of course, is the big talking horse coming into this. Ed went out to meet Classic Legend and Casper Founds. Hot King Prawn looking for that Group 1 win. And we'll touch on the international runners as well for the $22 million Longines Hong Kong Sprint.